Bonjour, hello everyone, this is Lindy, and today I'm going to make date squares. I got this recipe from a friend of mine in Montreal, and in Montreal they call this recipe curé aux dates. And my neighbor also gave me some dates, so I thought this would be a good recipe to make. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and it says to grease the 13 by 9 inch pan, and I also put parchment paper in it. So what I have done is I made the date filling. So in my date filling I put 3 cups of pitted dates, and last night I chopped those up very finely so I'd have them ready for today's show. And I put 1.5 cups of orange juice in the filling, and 1 cup of brown sugar. And so I cooked this at a low temperature, a low heat, until it was thick, and it took 10 minutes to get this date filling at that consistency. So I want to put that aside, and now I'm going to make the crumble, which is on the bottom and the top of the filling. So I'm going to put 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of butter. And so I went ahead and softened this butter this morning so it would be ready to use for the show. You can just leave it out at room temperature until it's softened. 1 3/4 cup all-purpose flour. So I have this ready to go. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, I have that ready, and 1.5 cups of quick cooking oats. And so I'm going to take my pastry cutter and go ahead and just put this together. You can take a fork also. And I know my friend takes his hands and does this, but I decided I'm going to use this to put this together. Just take a few minutes. So this will be a relatively easy recipe for all of you. I know some of my viewers said they want something that's a little easier sometimes. It doesn't take too much time because I know some of you are working, and those that aren't are retired and staying at home. I hope you're staying safe. And if you have made any of my recipes, go ahead and send pictures of your recipes to Lindy's Kitchen 2020 at gmail.com. So this, I'm going to take these to, we have kind of a driveway event every Friday in our neighborhood where we just come out and talk to the neighbors and put our masks on, and everyone is going to bring us something to share this time. So I thought I'd take the date squares. So it takes a little bit to get this all blended together, and so you'll have kind of a crumbly, flaky consistency, if you can see this. And so when you get it all nice and moist, then what we're going to do is put half in the pan, and then add the filling and put the other half, we're crumbling it on top. So this takes just a little bit of time, and you see I'm wearing something a little different today. One of the viewers sent me this apron. And I'll show you what's unique about this apron when I take the date squares out of the oven. So like I said, if you want to use your hands to mix it, it'd probably be easier, but since I'm sharing these, I decided that I don't think that would be a very good idea to mix it with my hands. So I'm going to put half of this in the bottom. And then instead of my hands, I'm going to take some saran wrap and wrap my hand around it. So that'll make it easier if you have a glove or something like that too. And then you can just put this out in the pan so everything's patted down and nice and smooth in the pan. And I'm going to put a little bit more in here. So it takes a few minutes to do this. I hope all of you are, like I said, being safe and doing things that are and staying home. I know in California we've had another outbreak, and so we have to be very careful and not go out very much. But I also want to dedicate this recipe to my grandson who was born last week. His name is Bo, and so that's been a real thrill in my life to have Bo come and be a part of my life and to be with his brother Finn. All right, so what I'm going to do is that's the bottom, and I'm going to pour this date filling on this crumb mixture. And like I said, what's unique about this filling is that it has orange juice in it instead of water. Most all the recipes that I've seen have water in the recipe and not orange juice. So this makes it just a little bit different. So when you get the date filling on, it looks pretty much like that. And then I'm going to put the crumb mixture on top, and I think what I'm going to do is put it on my hand. So I'm going to finish doing this, and I'm going to bake it for 30 minutes at 350 degrees, and I'll see you in 30 minutes. I took the date squares out of the oven, and it was a 350 degree oven, and I ended up baking it for about 35 minutes. That gave the top a nice golden brown. And I tell you what's unique about this apron. Well, it has the hot pads right here. So isn't that look yummy, nice and golden brown. So that extra 5 minutes gave it that nice brown texture. So it says cool slightly. I cooled it for 15 minutes, so you can serve it a little bit warm. And what I decided, it would be really nice to serve it with a little whipping cream. And so sometimes I have whipping cream in my refrigerator. So I'm going to give this a taste. It looks good. And it's nice and yummy. I wanted to tell you one thing about putting that mixture on the top, that last crumbly mixture. You really need to use your fingers to crumble that last mixture on top. What I did is I went and got a pair of plastic gloves and crumbled it so it was nice and even. So be safe. A biento. See you soon. And send the pictures of your creations to lindysKitchen2020@gmail.com.